one of my children, I wore liquid eyeliner the other day, like winged eyeliner, and she wears liquid eyeliner all the time, and she was like, "Oh, you want to be me so bad," and I went, "Bitch." I didn't say bitch to the high schooler. I went, "Girl, you don't even fucking know.
I've been here.
I invented you." Okay? I was like, if you ask any one of my friends to draw me, chances are they put fucking liquid eyeliner on me, okay, girl? You didn't fucking invent liquid eyeliner.
You want to be me so bad.
I said, you want to be me. You want to be me. Let me see your eyeliner. Take it out. Wet and Wild. How'd I fucking know? I've been through the trenches.
Did you see Renee Rapp?
Mm-hmm.
How she said she was ageist
Mm-hmm.
against old women.
Against millennial women. And then the millennial women were like, sit down, Renee.
She used old women and then clarified millennial women. And I feel like that's a bit aggressive.
No, what she's not talking about us. She's talking about
my sisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you know what happened? All the millennial women on talk shows started going, sit down, Renee Rapp. Like, you're cringe, dude.
Right. Like, you're the reason that she said that.
Yeah.
Like you're playing
she's
into
like,
her joke.
By the way, wisdom comes with age. Am I right, ladies? And I'm like, literally, this is so fucking embarrassing.
Who said that? I literally just saw that
clip.
I'm sure that happened like a month ago.
No, that happened this week.
Oh, okay.
That clip went viral all over the place. But no, she said that, and then like a couple days later, it was like I saw a TikTok of somebody being like, and this is what she was fucking talking about. Yeah. And then the talk show came up and they played that clip where she said she's ageist against millennial women who kept coming for her.
Literally reminded me of you because they were like, you're going to get old one day. And she was like, I fear.
Yeah. I
was like, Tamara?
I fear. Yeah, me.
We're back.
And deader than ever.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Tamara.
And this is
Ghoul Beans. I wanted to mix it up so bad and I forgot. Let's
beans.
Beans, beans.
That you're old.
From Bill. Yeah, that's on that side.
That's Zoom.
That's on that side though.
On what
That's
side?
on the millennial side.
Yeah.
Zoom is millennial.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird being in both. It's weird being in both because, like...
They call us Zillennials.
I loved when people would be like, millennials are doing this. And it was, like, all the stuff that's like, what else am I... Millennials are breathing. They're ruining the economy.
Millennials killed Outback Steakhouse.
Like, good. I think I got sick there many times. I killed it with my bare hands.
It's an Australia-themed restaurant. They don't serve that shit in Australia.
Like,
what blue bean onion. They don't serve that.
To Americanize
what?
Australian food? And literally not
Kangaroo
Australian
bites.
food.
Come on, brother.
Brother.
It is weird being in the middle, but at the same time, I've always felt like the middle.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like too young to be around. Because what the fuck do I have in common with a 40-year-old?
Literally nothing. With a 35-year-old, I struggle.
No, seriously. No, like, for real, we're in different places in our lives, and also the way you were raised is totally different.
Yeah. It's completely different.
And then, but I also don't have shit in common, honestly, with a 22-year-old.
No, literally not. I told you. And, like, obviously, can talk to anyone.
But what I will say is that I don't remember millennials being obsessed with Gen X, which is the one above us, the way that Gen Z is obsessed with millennials.
Yeah, I feel like everyone and their mother is obsessed with millennials. It used to be like millennials are too young and they're destroying our world, and now it's like millennials are so old and they're destroying my life. And it's like I'm literally just trying to survive, actually.
And so I think that we were the generation that was like, oh, the economy is crumbling because millennials won't stop buying coffee, and Gen Z is like, actually, fuck you and your mother. I'm never going to have a child. And that's what pushes me on this side, too.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to have kids. I recognize that the likelihood of me owning a home is very low. You know what I mean?
I think also millennials being, and I'm talking, again, young, like the in-between millennials, like not the old millennials that have children in house. Yeah, let's talk zillennials. I think it's also because we have always been in the middle. We were in between the technology gap. We were in between everything.
I was 6 during 9/11, dude.
And then, like, so it's like we have all that experience of, like, all this shit happened and we, like, were part of it. But, like, I was like literally blowing bubbles in milk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so every like joke or like trendy thing is always like boomers being assholes and like Gen Xers like working really hard and kind of being assholes. And then Gen Zers being like, I don't give a fuck. And it's always millennials like, it's just they're depressed.
We've just been shat on forever.
No, literally. And it's just so funny because it's like, it's not like we're out here being like, you're so privileged. You don't even understand what it's like to be old. We're still like, honestly, I'm literally just trying to breathe. Like, you can do whatever
But it's not
you want.
millennial. It's zillennial in
Right,
particular.
right.
Like, these kids that I have in my high school, they're learning about 9/11 in history. Like, they were born in 2009, the freshmen.
Wow. That's gross.
Yeah. I was like, I was 15.
Be introduced to someone and they're like, my birthday's 2009, I'd kill myself. Like, what year were you born?
Every day.
2009?
That's the freshmen this year were born
I
2009.
was fully in high school.
Next year, it will be double digits,
old.
dude. Next year, we're going to see 2010 birthdays in high school.
That's crazy.
I know. But that being said, they're learning about it in history. I was there, kind of. I was 6.
Like, I don't remember it. I remember what my mom said.
How old is your sister? The oldest one?
She's 9 years older than me.
Okay, girl. She was like 13 when the fucking Twin Towers fell.
Right.
So she
remembers
it. Yeah. So she probably remembers being in the airport and being able to walk up to the gate.
Right.
No memory of that.
Right. I'm trying to think. I don't think I remember that.
I don't
remember my childhood. We remember. We know that. The troms and conflams.
That's going to be my memoir. The life, the times and troms of Tamara.
Tamara starts with T, so does trauma. Too long.
Therapy.
Too wordy. That's going to be the title of your memoir.
Therapy? Question mark. Have you thought about it?
Could I perchance?
Have you heard of my Lord and Savior? I almost named my therapist first and last name right now. What are we drinking, Kelly?
So we're drinking Papa Nichols.
Guys, would you fucking believe it?
Papa Nichols or Nicholas? Saint Papa.
Puppy? Puppy Nick?
Nicky?
I fucking love him. He's the father I never had. We never had. Fatherless behavior.
That noise only works if you can see my tongue. No, it translates.
Yeah.
I got a voice for radio. I got
They'll
a face
do it,
for
probably.
Radio.
They'll hear you.
He's incredible. We went on a coffee crawl at Wheaton this day.
We're coming down from that. It was so cold outside, guys, and we did the coffee and cocoa crawl for Wheaton. It was so much fun, frigid, got very minimal audio from that.
Yeah, we tried. We tried to be hip. We'll do better next time.
Oh, yeah, now we know.
Now we know.
The mics sound incredible.
Yeah, that first clip, wonderful.
That first clip, golden.
Yeah. But today it's Papa Nichols. I get the hype. I love him.
What blend is this?
This is 5-star hotel, baby. 5 stars in my life.
5-star restaurant.
5 stars in my mouth.
It is 5 stars. I actually really like it. I used a cinnamon vanilla creamer, and it's delicious.
Do you like the cinnamon vanilla creamer?
I
meant to ask you.
You guys don't have much left, so do you guys like it?
Yeah, I like it. Matt doesn't like it. This morning.
Oh, no. The truth revealed.
I do like it. That's the reason there's
Exposed,
not a lot
not
left.
clickbait. Do you like it?
No, he doesn't like it.
Why is there none then, y'all?
Because I've been drinking it.
Oh.
We have 5 creamers in there. We have no less than 3 at a time.
Oh my God. Literally, that was us the other day. We were like, why the fuck do we have so many creamers? My favorite, shitty creamer is the Italian sweet cream from, is it Coffee Mate?
International Delight. It is probably Coffee Mate.
I think it's Coffee Mate.
Yeah. My favorite shitty creamer is the Dunkin' Donuts one.
Extra, extra, extra,
extra, extra, baby. That's
Does
the
it,
title of my memoir.
It does. Wow, I love that for you. It does that all in one go kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't need sugar.
Exactly. Whoa. That's me dumping it in.
And that's you afterwards.
Let's tell some scary stories.
Yeah. So this week's episode is a ghouls being ghouls.
We're gonna be ghouls. We're gonna be ghouls, ghouls, ghouls. And the theme
is haunted basement. And you know I'm a fucking expert.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't go in basements because I know they're haunted.
Well, your basement.
What
No,
basement?
Matt's basement.
Yeah, I don't have a basement.
No, your childhood basement.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's put these out.
Matt's childhood basement.
This one's called Girl's Voice in the Basement of School.
Hate that.
And it's from r/ghost stories from Reddit user acrobaticad1265. So when I was in school, about 14 years old, me and my friend said, let's go climb around on the roof of their school. I went to a different school than my friends. This day, I'm not sure why, but it was a warm night and was the weekend, so we thought, why not? We get to the school, which is only about 10 minutes away from our house. This place just straight up looks creepy. Like it looks more like an old hospital than a school.
Ugh.
But we hop over the fence and we head to the part where you get up to the roof. So we are messing around on the roof for a while, and my friend, Kay, we'll call him, says,
I bet.
I'm going to go with Coriolanus. Says,
Coriolanus?
That's from, it's a reference.
Cornelius?
No, Coriolanus Snow. From the Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
His name's Coriolanus.
Corio his anus. Kay says, I want to show you guys the basement.
Why is he in the basement? Does he have keys? Is his dad the janitor? Sorry, it's a lot of questions for a Reddit story. I apologize.
So, we get down off the roof and we get to these stairs that lead to the door. Kay says he's going to go check if the doors are unlocked, and me and my other friend W wait for him at the top. He shouts to us that it's unlocked and to come down, so we do. This basement was a whole different vibe. Like, he wasn't really joking. They had their flashlights on and they were looking around. It was as if someone was waiting down there for us.
Yeah.
We checked, and we were definitely the only 3 down there at the time. While we are looking around, we see a load of old school stuff, like desks, that type of thing. We looked around a little more and decided to leave so we could check some other stuff out. I was the last one out of the door. Just as I go to shut the door, all 3 of us hear a girl's voice, clear as day, say, "Why are you leaving?"
Ew.
And we just ran up those stairs and hopped back over the fence. We were all freaked out for a while, and we were calming our nerves, 110% sure we never saw anyone else in that basement.
So honestly, the beginning of that story felt like the kid was like luring them down there to murder them.
I know, it felt very ghost-like.
He was like, let me show you the basement.
Come on.
Oh, it's unlocked. Like, it felt like he definitely planned on murdering his friends.
Like, they're like, wait, you're going too fast. Like, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. But,
Ghost girl in the basement.
Ghost
a little,
girl.
amuse bouche for the pod.
Okay. This is from Tanya Sisler. Thanks, Tanya. My home in Detroit was haunted by a young woman. My family spent 4 years having experiences. She liked to hang out in the basement and call our names when no one was home.
How do they know then?
Probably like call our names when like you were alone in the house. Meaning like if you were there alone, they'd call out for Tamara, which is yucky.
That's crazy because Tamara doesn't sound like a lot of things.
Like, you know that's a ghost if you hear Tamara being called out. She always looked the same. Long dark hair, red V-neck tee, and a black shirt. Or a black skirt.
Okay.
But you can never make out her facial features. Those were always blurry. She was around the age of myself and my siblings at the time, and I think our presence made her comfortable because we were never afraid of having these experiences. She was always just there.
Okay.
That was it. I think it's gross. Like, I don't think it's ever great to get like comfy with a ghost.
I like that it's a like another like 2000s kind of ghost.
Yeah, I wonder who it is though.
We'll never know.
Okay. The Lady in Black and Little Girl. This is from Jess Hoer. When my kids were little, 2 and 3 years of age, they used to talk about the Lady in Black and Little Girl, and I chalked it up to imaginary friends due to their age. However, I started to find things moving in the house, i.e., the brand new pack of diapers would go from the cabinet to the living room table, and there was no chance the kids could reach the cabinet. I also on occasion would hear a child's voice saying, "Do you want to play?" It only would happen when my children are at a sitter's or outside the home.
Okay. All right, lady.
This went on for a few months, and I just kept thinking I had moved things and didn't remember. And also heard voices, I guess. Well, one night, my 2-year-old son had been asleep for a few hours when suddenly I heard him screaming and crying. I rushed into his and his sister's rooms and found him in the middle of the room with a giant red handprint on his back.
I have chills.
Larger than my own hand in size.
Here they come.
With his size compared to the size of the room, there was no chance he had just fallen out of bed. He had to have been pushed.
Oh my God, not the handprint comparison. My eyes are watering.
I hid how freaked out I was regarding the handprint and soothed him and brought him and his sister to my room for the remainder of the night. The next day, I talked to them about the lady in black and the little girl. Come to find out that the lady in black would not let the little girl play and would often scare my daughter to keep her away. Taking their ages into consideration, and the only TV they watched at the time was Mickey Mouse, I knew they weren't making these things up. Over the next 2 months, I made trips from Virginia, where we lived, to Michigan, where my parents lived, because I refused to live in the house.
Period. You?
Seriously. I'd come down on weekends to meet with local paranormal investigators. During one particular investigation, I had a friend join me, and she joined one of the other investigators in my children's room and the basement. This is literally the only mention of the basement. It kind of connects. To ask questions and communicate. I was in the kitchen. In the basement with another. I was in the kitchen in the basement with another investigator. One more was outside monitoring the video cameras they had set up. About an hour into the investigation, my friend started to scream, as did the investigator that was with her. We ran upstairs and found her on the ground, grabbing her throat and visibly choking. After rushing everyone outside, we found 2 large handprints around her throat as if she had been choked by a person.
Gag. Literally.
At that point, I had my fill and walked into the house, screamed at whatever was in the home that this was my house, and if it wanted to mess with someone, to come and get me, but to understand that if it came after my kids or friends again, I'd figure out a way to kick its ass. I was livid. Nothing ever happened again in the house. Kids and I moved back down a couple weeks later, and my now ex-husband continued to live in the home for another 10 years with no repeat of the incidents. That's a lot. I feel like good for them that worked, but I feel like that could have very potentially made things a lot worse.
Right. A lot of times I feel like that's the first route people take.
Yeah.
And I never advise that.
Right. I feel like you'd be like, this is my home, you are not welcome here and stuff, and if
you need to leave.
Yeah, but to be like, kick my ass if you're gonna kick anyone else's, it's like,
what do you think you're doing?
Right. Prepare to literally be tortured forever. But good for you. It worked.
Okay. This is from Reddit user C_ad6926.
Ayo.
Hi. I won't go in my friend's basement anymore.
Same.
I have been going to my 2 friends who happen to be twins' house ever since I was a child. It's a pretty old 2-story house with a basement. Apparently, way back, one of the kids that lived there climbed a power pole and got electrocuted and passed. Now, I don't know how true that story actually is, so that little ghost story never scared me. We all used to play this game we called Murderer. It's pretty much hide and seek, but you pretend to murder the hiders when you find them. And the hiders would scream when caught. I loved playing this game as a kid. At a party when I was around 14 or 15, we were all playing again for old time's sake. I was the murderer for this specific round. And while I was counting, I distinctly heard someone go downstairs to the basement.
Ew, shut up. Sorry.
No, you're good. Is it sounding weird again? It sounded weird for a second.
It did.
Did it sound...
I don't know. Let's switch out the microphone really quick. Pause for intermission.
Oh, yeah. All that's getting chopped. That's so funny. These people don't even know. Sorry. while I was counting, I distinctly heard someone go downstairs to the basement. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
I remember thinking it was a rookie move because those stairs creaked loudly and the spots to hide down there were pretty limited. After I finished counting, I walked downstairs and started to check all the normal spots that people would hide. That's when I noticed something was off.
What did they notice?
I had chills up and down my spine. It felt cold. I felt like I was being watched. I didn't want to be down there anymore. Turned to head back upstairs when the lights shut off.
No.
I heard the door to the stairs slam shut.
Shut up.
I started screaming bloody murder, ran up the stairs, and banged on the door as it got locked somehow. I was screaming as I felt something dark and sinister coming up the stairs behind me. I was screaming and crying and begging for someone to unlock the door. I heard a bunch of footsteps rushing down the stairs from upstairs and my friends' voices on the other side telling me to open the door.
Oh my God.
I was yelling back that someone locked me in and I wanted out and didn't want to play anymore. I could feel the presence behind me still, and I've never felt that scared in my life. I thought I was going to get dragged back down the stairs, but whatever was on the stairs behind me, when the door finally bursted open. That sentence didn't make sense, friends. Hang on. I thought I was going to get dragged back down the stairs, but whatever was on the stairs behind me when the door finally bursted open, and I ran out a crying, terrified mess. Oh, they meant bye.
Got you.
I started yelling at my friends about how cruel it was to lock me down there, and they all looked at me like I was crazy. They all decided to hide upstairs in the crawl space in the attic, and no one had even been on the first floor of the basement.
Shut up.
That alone made me question the footsteps I heard go to the basement. But what they said next made my blood run cold. The basement door locks from the inside.
Wow, that's like...
This was in Duluth, Minnesota.
Grade A terrifying. Like, that is the fear.
That's the fear. That's like childhood fear number one.
Number one. That is the reason I don't go into basements, was that story right there.
Exactly. The fear of, one, and having to fucking run back up the steps.
I just like the feeling of running up the stairs and having someone chasing you. The fear of it as you, like, I feel like the second I start going faster than a walk, someone is chasing me.
Yes. Do you remember, like, being the first one up the steps and someone's behind you and you're like, stop!
Yes.
Because they're running behind you.
Yeah, literally. I
will stop.
I did what Bo does in the dog park, and I, like, sit down, like, I'm not fast enough to outrun it, so I have to turn and fight.
That's perfectly scary.
Literally, oh my God. And the fact that it, like, made you hear it go down to the basement, like, chose to make the steps creak. Like, that's an entity fucking with you.
It's making me think of, I had this childhood friend, and I would stay at her house all the time. And I've told you before, but we were in the computer room, and we heard the, like, jewelry box sound going, and she was like, yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Her basement was so scary. It didn't have, like, shit happening like mine did.
Yeah.
But it was scary. And it was, like, a long staircase with walls on both sides, so you had to get all the way to the bottom to see anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the regular, like, living room area, whatever. The laundry room that was, like, unfinished.
Yeah.
And then 2 extra rooms that were made for whenever her family would stay over.
Yeah.
There was a safe zone. You could either be in one of the bedrooms, which was, like, the nice, fun, her cousin's bedroom that we like to enjoy.
Yeah.
Or you could be in, like, the living room area.
Yeah.
Everywhere else was not safe.
Ew.
Scary. Like, there was one time, and I'm not going to say her name because this is an embarrassing story, but there was once we were so freaked out. We were scared to even walk towards the steps. Shit. And she had, like, there's no bathroom down there. She was, like, had to use the bathroom. And, like, literally we were so scared. I was like, at this point, you have to, like, call your mom.
Yeah.
Like, to come open the door.
To come walk to
She wasn't home.
No,
she wasn't home. And, like, we're the only people in the house, and then we're in the basement. Because we had gone down, like, in the daytime.
Right.
And then it got dark while we were down there.
Yeah.
And then nighttime in a basement, no matter how many fucking lights you have on, you know it's nighttime outside.
Yeah. You could feel it.
So she had to, like, in the laundry room, like the utilitub, she literally had to pee in there because we were like,
no judgment
no,
here.
no judge. Even at the time, I was like, yeah, girl, I'll turn away. Like, I don't care.
The fact that the laundry room with the utilitub was the safe zone
and it was like a
enough.
second grade.
That's telling enough.
Safe zone. It was like
it
wasn't like an amazing safe zone.
Right.
And because we had heard something, or like, I don't know, it was just one of those vibes where we had something like psychic going on, because something would happen and then like we'd look at each other and she'd already be looking at me.
Yeah.
Like, or she'd catch a vibe.
I'm sure she was just like happy that someone else was like feeling it, kind of thing. That reminds me of so her house was like a new build and it was very nice, very big. Like I walked in there and I was like, "Oh, okay, you guys got money." So and every time you tell the story about like the computer room, it reminds me of her house because like there's a computer room in there and we would be in there all the time. And so I slept over one night, and this was before she told me the story. And so it was like you'd go up and they had a whole open house floor plan basically, except for like the entryway. And so they're upstairs, like you walk up the stairs and it's open on both sides, and their parents' bedroom, and then there's a catwalk basically where like you can see down into like the living room, the family room, all that stuff, and then on the other side you can see like down and it's the foyer and stuff.
You're unlocking a memory within me and I need to save it. Don't let me forget.
Please. And then on the other side is her room and her brother's room and then their shared bathroom. So we were walking upstairs and she turned off, like she was one of those hoes that could like walk around in the night. And like she believed in ghosts. She has ghost stories of her own and stuff. And we were walking up and I saw, like I was looking down because like I'm the type, I have to look into the abyss. Like I have to stop it in its tracks. And so
it's asserting dominance, really.
Basically. And so as we're like walking across the catwalk, I'm like looking up while we're walking up, and then we're walking across the catwalk and she's behind me, thank God. And I see like just like, and I was like, and so we get into her room and she was like, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck was that?" And she was like, "That's the shadow runner." And I was like,
I have chills up and down my arms right now. What the fuck are you talking about?
I was like, "What the fuck's the shadow runner?" She's like, "Yeah, there's this shadow in our house. Me and my brother see it all the time.
I'm getting scary tears."
And she was like, "And it sprints around our house." And I was like, "The fuck?" I'm like, "I can't go to the bathroom tonight. You have to come with. You have to literally sit in the bathroom with me.
And we're turning on all the lights on the way there.
And I am not sleeping. Like, we're up all night now." And she's like, "That's fine, that's fine." So she told me the story. That was mine. But she told me the story. And her brother was like, in his like high school moody phase.
No go.
So their basement sounds kind of similar. It's like, it's a stairwell down and walls on each side. And then the door is at the bottom. You know how most basement doors are at the top? Yeah, hers was at the bottom. So it's like this long staircase.
Then you have to fucking open the door?
Yeah. And so the basement's unfinished. So, and they've got nothing down there. It's not where their laundry is or anything. So on the side, there's like 3 bins for like decorations.
It's just storage, kind of.
It's literally just an empty basement.
That's way worse.
Yeah, because their house was huge.
It's like
they
ruminating.
Didn't need it. And on the right side, there was like a little family area, but it was literally a TV, not touching a wall, a couch with its back to the abyss of the basement, and like a little area rug and like a hanging chair. And that was it. That was like the only life in that basement.
Y'all are cool being down here?
And that's where we would sit and watch scary movies. That's where we would sit and hang out. It was
traumatizing.
I would literally be like lying on the couch. I'd be like, "You have to like sit on top of me because I literally can't have my like head above the couch." And she would just laugh. And I was like, "You literally told me about a shadow runner? Like I have to lay on this couch right now."
I would be scared if the TV like went black and you saw something in the reflection.
I would die. It's literally, and their house was huge. Like this basement was long, like 2 driveways long. Like it was huge. So at the very back is a drum set because her dad played the drums and her brother played the drums. And so they would like have music on, like headsets on and play the drums. She said that her brother after I said, like, what's that? And she said, the shadow runner. She was like, I see him all the time, blah, blah, blah. And she said, my brother actually the other day was down there drumming, and he had his headset on and stuff like that.
No.
And he saw the shadow, like, run in front of the drum set, and he, like, looked up, and then he saw it run from, like, the TV to the other side of the basement. And I was like,
I have chills up into my arms. I want to cry.
I was like, what did he do? She was like, he literally started crying and ran upstairs. And, like, that's a long run to get to the stairs, and the door is right there. Ugh. So anyway, that's what that reminds me.
Wow.
So that was my story. What was your story that you remembered?
Oh my God.
Yeah, tell me.
Oh my God.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are, bitch.
Yeah, you are. So similarly, when I was in Girl Scouts, the Girl Scout, like, what is the name? The mom that, like, leads the Girl Scout troop?
The den mother? That's for Boy
That's
Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
The lady leader?
The
The troop leader?
Yeah, like the troop leader or the troop mom or whatever.
Troop mom. That's
the troop mom. Her daughter was obviously in it.
Yeah.
And we were at her dad's family's house.
Okay.
So, like, her husband's family.
Okay.
Who lived in, like, the nice side of the neighborhood.
Okay. Okay.
And that's important because this girl's her birth dad died.
Okay.
So this is her stepdad.
Okay.
Real cool guy. We like him.
All right.
They had in the front of the house, so if, like, you walked up to the house, it was, like, obviously, like, the front door, and this is, like, a 2.5-story house, like, it's big. A huge front window, like, over the door. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was, like, kind of fracted, so you couldn't, like, see straight in.
Yeah.
And then when you walk in, you look up, it's straight up and a catwalk.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very common.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were in, like, a playroom upstairs, and I had to go to the bathroom. The bathroom was across the catwalk. And I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. And then the troop mom, like, looks at her daughter and was like, okay, go with her. And I was like, okay. You know, in my mind, she's just, like, showing me where the bathroom is.
Right.
And then we, like, walk out of the room. We had to walk maybe, like, 10 paces before we got to the catwalk.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, I'm going to go behind you because I always close my eyes when I'm up here. And I was like, why? Like, what? You know?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Imagine me, bangs, wire rim glasses, going,
Right.
What?
Girl, what?
And she was like, yeah, I get really scared up here. So they told me just to close my eyes when I walk up here. And, like, she walked with her hand against the railing so that she could tell where to go because she couldn't, like, open her eyes. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then we were on the other side, and I went to the bathroom. She waited for me. I came out. I saw that she was still there. And she was like, and then we walked back. And before we went in the room, I was like, girl, like, why are you scared? Like, you have to tell me. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. And she was like, well, when I was here when I was little, so, like, a couple years ago, she was standing, like, playing on the catwalk, and, like, it was nighttime, and she saw somebody in the reflection. And she's like, but my mom thinks it's just my dad. And she was like, but her dad, like, had hair, and she was saying that the shadow was, like, bald, and, like, yeah. She was like, I was playing on the catwalk at night, and in the reflection of the glass, I saw somebody behind me.
Oh. The silence is so loud.
Yeah, and she was like, my mom thinks it's just my dad. And I was like, oh yeah, like, my mom raised me in a way to be like, oh yeah, 100%. I got in the car.
You were like, Mom?
I literally was like,
I will never be here again.
And I don't know if my mom remembers this. But I was like, I told her that there's, like, a ghost in the house or something. And we were very familiar with that.
Right.
And she was like, why would her dad be at her stepdad's house? And we drove away.
It's just, like, the fact alone that her mom was like, it's probably your dad, not
Close
like
your
your
eyes.
imagination. Close your eyes, bitch. What? Close your eyes while you're walking on the catwalk because it's probably your dad. Like, all of that's giving wild parenting. Dang.
And I think, well, obviously her mom knew something was up.
Obviously. Because she wasn't just like, oh, you're being silly.
Right. And it reminds me of her house.
Yeah.
Where we would have the, like, meetings or whatever.
Yeah.
The troop mom's house. And we had a sleepover in the living room. And I remember hearing one of the girls that was in, well, I'm not going to blow up her spot, but one of the girls in the troop, like, getting up and going to the mom's room and being like, I'm scared.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Girl. Ew.
I never felt weird. And then I never even felt weird when I was on the catwalk.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Could you imagine? Well, that's like, not even like, but Matt said that he'd walk by this house, and he said one time he saw like a little girl in the window, and I was like, I babysit those kids, and there's one girl in that house, and she's a baby, and he was, oh my
God, I remember this happened with me there in the room.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, this girl was like 5.
Yeah. That's so freaky.
Like long dark hair.
Ew, no, they were blonde. Kids.
And it was a baby.
Everyone was blonde in that house. The only girl was a baby. So scary. Okay, next story.
Okay. Super scared.
This one is by XX Vicky XX93. Ayo. She said, during one summer, it was me, my older sister, and my cousin Eric. He had come down for the summer, and the basement was our little hangout at the time. We were just downstairs in the basement playing cards and talking. Then out of nowhere, everybody had gotten quiet, and I did not know why. A second later, I heard a little girl voice say, look, or look back there, in my ear. And then my older sister said she saw a black shadow go past my shoulder. So I look in the back of the basement. Mind you, no one is back there, and the lights are off in the back. And then I hear a nail of some sort get dragged across one of the workbenches we have in the back. And then we all hear a peeing on the ground and look at each other and ran upstairs.
Right.
You need a moment?
Yeah. No.
So my only thing is, like, I don't care if no one's in the back corner that's 10 feet from us.
I'm glad you said that. Everybody's like, well, and no one was back there. Like,
right. Like, turn on the fucking light.
There could be 500 people down there, and if you get a weird vibe in a basement, I'm like, demon, ghost.
Seriously. Okay. Then, so they go upstairs because they're scared. Then 15 minutes later, we go back downstairs and check in the back on the floor to see if anything is on the ground. And one single nail he would screw to the wall was lying there. We all looked at each other. Ew. Like, I actually just got a vision of it going. Yeah. Like, someone being like, look back there. And then being like, grrr. Like, excuse me? Excuse me?
I'm like waiting.
I know. You're like, just keep reading, you whore.
This is like the Sheila the episode where Mariel was on, and Sheila kept being like, we actually have to get out of the basement.
It's actually time to go home now. We all looked at each other and ran back upstairs and did not bother to turn the front light out. We tried to tell my parents about it, but my mom kept denying it, saying there was no such thing. But my father, he believed us because he had said that he experienced some paranormal events in the house. My mom had said once she saw a white shadow of a little girl in her bedroom doorway, but she keeps denying it when was something paranormal, and she had come up with an excuse for it. To this day, she still will not admit that paranormal occurrences happen here. I still get scared going in my basement.
Yeah.
So that was it, but, like, that's horrifying.
Another one of just like, yep, that's about right.
Right. Like, I don't know. I don't like basement stories. I also love basement stories.
Me too.
They're so scary.
Yeah, I'm like, they're one of the scary ones. This and the woods, man.
Those are my two, like, kryptonites. I only had a crawl space.
You did?
My house
you didn't have a basement.
Is the only house. No, it's one of two in the entire subdivision that didn't have a basement. Isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
I think. I'm not entirely sure.
To your knowledge, there was like no one else that I know didn't have a basement.
No. I know for a fact we're 1 out of 2 in, like, the subdivision that didn't have a basement. I think the people next door to us didn't have it. I'm thinking it's because of
the cemetery.
The cemetery.
Oh, 900% queen,
Yeah.
that was why you weren't allowed to have a basement.
Yeah,
They were like, you can build a house here, but you can't dig. No, it is.
My old house and the one next door to us are the only ones that don't have a basement.
So you might have been on top of bodies, King.
I'm sure I did. I told you my house was haunted and there's no reason for it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is something that I can definitely get hyperfixated on. I'll put it on the list.
Matt's traumatized. He threw up. I never connected those two things.
You can build here, but you can't dig down.
Yeah, they're like, here are where the graves that are actually still here are, so we'll block that off, and they're technically in that yard. But like you two, you can't go deeper than 6 feet. Our crawl space was not far, bitch.
So I'm wondering if... Oh my God, I can definitely hyperfixate about that if I needed to.
Yeah, I mean, I went down that crawl space a lot, and I always pictured people crawling at me. Maybe it happened. I don't know. I was traumatized of the underground.
You don't remember your childhood?
Probably because a ghost grabbed me
at the ankle.
Oh my! Stop.
The wall.
Stop. You know, I'm at my emotional support wall.
I can't wait to go home and do research about that cemetery.
Please do.
And then be like, so you're on Suzette Nichols, you know?
Ew! Stop it. It was the farmer's family.
All right. This is from 11 days ago.
I love that.
And it's from Reddit user Upbeat Art 2237. Okay, I never post on here, but I just kind of want some help easing my mind about this. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and it just keeps popping up in my mind. So, when I was a kid, me and my sister were really close, and we would watch movies together in the living room. I passed out when we were watching something. When I woke up, the movie was paused, so I tried to see if my sister was awake, so I called her name several times. No answer. Nothing. So I decided to get up and check to see if she was awake. I went and touched my sister on the arm. Of course, I got no response from her, but a split second after my sister came down the stairs, when I turned back to the thing I touched, it was gone.
Shut the fuck up.
The blanket went back down, sitting on the chair. My heart literally dropped when I noticed it wasn't my sister that I touched. And how I know it was my sister had green hair at the time, and I did see the green hair as it was laying there. I moved out years later and still didn't get closure about what it was, but I started researching it, which is never a good idea. I came down to the conclusion that it was a mimic. It was mimicking my sister because she was close to me. I've heard that it could be a good spirit, could be a bad spirit, but I haven't seen it since, and it still terrifies me to go into that house.
Who said it was a good spirit?
When I go to the house, I feel a presence there watching me. I never believed in ghosts until that moment, and this was downstairs where we had this unfinished part of a basement and a doorway, if that adds anything to it. We also had these trees. Oh, we also had these trees that had chains on them. I just want to know a little bit more about it, and if it's safe or not to go into the house. So if someone that knows stuff about it can give me a little bit more detail on what it means, that would help.
Girl.
So OP posted again in the comments.
Okay.
Someone was like, had you experienced any weird things before this?
Okay. Fair question.
And that was the only one I saw, but my family did see other things. My grandpa saw my sister several times. That wasn't my sister, so it's the same thing.
Oh my God.
He saw some lady in the shower who wasn't there. My mom has seen 2 twin girls playing with one of our cats. We've had people come over that were friends with me and my sister, and they said they saw some things, but I don't remember. 6 days ago, somebody named Paranormal Psychic commented.
Okay.
Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
My childhood home was also haunted by a mimic. Several friendly spirits, and the rest were dark and demonic, mostly centering in and around my childhood bedroom. I switched to have with my younger brother, one of the main rooms in my childhood home. I would have nightmares about that. I wished about that. And I think it wished to harm me, but couldn't because I had a protector. One notable and memorable time I recall the mimic in my childhood to make its presence known was around the time my brother and I were in elementary school. Our mom kept asking us why we were calling her at night, only for us to say we didn't, and we were asleep. Sure enough, after deciding to get up and check, we were in fact asleep. Happened to me with my own mom, too. One night, after a nightmare, in my bedroom, I climbed out of bed and crawled into bed with my mom and tried my best not to move too much or make noise. I heard her voice mumble something. I ask what it was, only to find she's still fast asleep. Not even seconds later, a choir of disembodied voices started calling my name in sing-songy tone, loudly, non-stop it seemed. Only I could hear it. It felt like it went on forever, only for it to abruptly end just as it started, eventually fell asleep to have another nightmare.
Oh my God.
That was a comment under that story.
They're like, also, here's my trauma. That's disgusting.
The choir of disembodied voices. Are you kidding me?
I mean, yuck.
They touched the sister.
Yeah, no.
And you saw the green hair at the top.
They touched them.
And then
the sister like comes down
the steps.
Look and you look back
and the
like
blanket goes.
I cannot handle that actually. That's one of those moments where I feel like I would just die. You know what I mean?
I would black it out, I think.
I just like you touched a being.
I would have to tell myself that actually didn't happen. You know what I mean?
I like
because you couldn't go on living there and yet you're a child, you don't have a choice.
Right. That is so scary. The more I think about my childhood home, the more I'm like, it was absolutely haunted. Like, that feeling of being watched, that's totally not normal.
I think about you having to change like someone was watching you probably once a week.
I literally think about that sometimes. I'm like, that's really not normal. That's like 1,000% really wild, actually.
It's common, but not.
It was only in one room.
Right.
And like, I'd hear my mom call my name all the time.
In this house?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd run to the top of the stairs and be like, what?
No, Queen. I thought you meant the one I'm in now.
No.
I was like, so why the fuck
am
I
in
house,
here? I would leave. I'd be living with my mom.
Yeah.
I think I have like 2 more.
Okay.
I lived with my mom and grandmother in a house outside of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Technically Cashtown.
I've been to Gettysburg.
Me too.
Weird. When did you go?
I visited my friend Jonathan, and we went to Gettysburg because they lived there.
What year?
Not on Gettysburg. What year? I think I went
in 2008.
How old were we in 2008?
8th grade.
Bitch.
Not we went to Gettysburg the same year.
I probably passed you.
I was the one with the white digital camera trying to catch orbs. And I did.
And I did.
No, I did.
We
and the ghost
sat on one of the beds and it broke. Actually, maybe it wasn't Gettysburg. Maybe I always say it's Gettysburg, and I think he corrects me. He's like, no, it's this place. I'm like, ugh, they're all the same.
Is it like Roanoke?
No, I think I'd remember if I was at Roanoke.
Also, they just went into the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
That's what happened to them. The Roanoke colony just walked right into those mountains.
We're like, let's pick it up and leave, boys.
And now they're there still. They're not lost.
They are found. Okay. My grandparents built their house on a mountain in 2000. There's nothing on the land before, but being so close to Gettysburg, it's not surprising that we still had creepy stuff happen. One time, I went to the kitchen to get a soda and went back to my room in the basement. There are 5 bedrooms upstairs, but the vibes upstairs were off, and my mom and I refused to sleep up there. To think the basement's the safe space.
No, it's not. That's like the epicenter.
You're wrong. I set my drink on my desk and went to take my dog out. When I came back inside, my drink was gone. I looked all over my room, went back to the kitchen, but couldn't find it anywhere. I figured I was losing it and went to take a shower. And when I opened the curtain, my drink was in the shower.
Someone's living in there.
I feel like so many of the stories I choose, you're like, that's a human. They crawled out from the attic.
You know what, though? That's kind of interesting because I do think, like, I'm going to speak for myself. I think maybe that's why I go there. One of my biggest fears is someone else is living in the house.
Yeah.
And, like, one of my favorite scary movies is the one with the third Olsen sister.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, one continuous shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently saw some footage. Like, this person set up security cameras in their house because they were, like, they were recording in their car. It was on TikTok. And she was like, I'm recording this in the car because I'm pretty sure someone's living in my house.
Ew.
And she's like, I'm going through food quicker than I used to.
Ew.
Oh yeah, and she's like, and I'll see things like not where I left them. And the man crawled out of the pantry above. I have chills all over my body. Crawls out of the pantry that's above the fridge. Uses the fridge to climb down. Eats her food. Like just goes through her shit. Sits on the couch. Fucking looks up the stairs where her bedroom's at.
Ew.
And then crawls back up in there. And so she she obviously called the cops, and he had been in there for a month. I'll have to send you the video. He would have been up there for a month.
So she like was already living. It wasn't even like it was an empty house, and she moved in, and there was someone living there. Like
I think somebody.
they, like,
No, because she was.
came in.
Yeah, she was living there, and then she was like, "Shit's getting weird." Like she was like, "I'm recording this in the car because I'm scared. Like they can hear me. I think someone's squatting in my home." And they were like, "Do you have an attic?" And she was like, "Not to my knowledge."
Ew. That's disgusting.
So the pantry above the fridge had to have been like the back wall to it had to have been like at least movable.
Oh, I bet there was like a sleeping bag and stuff.
Probably so.
Ew.
A bucket.
Ew. Okay.
You'd have to flush.
Okay.
Imagine you come in. Oh my God. No, that's scary.
What? There's poop in your toilet?
Yeah, like you live fucking by yourself, and in the bathroom that like downstairs, there's shit in there.
I would probably assume that the toilet like backed up. Okay. Anyway, so a drink was in the shower. Someone's living there. Another time I was sleeping. I am a heavy sleeper. I've slept through fire alarms and I don't wake up easily. And I heard my name whispered, which woke me from a dead sleep.
Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. In your sleep.
Yeah. On multiple occasions, my mom had seen me walk by her. And when I actually entered the room, she looked at me like I'd grown 3 heads, convinced that I'd been in the room long enough to have a conversation.
It's like that thing that mimicked Matyed.
Yeah.
When you were slinking around.
Ugh. Another time, my grandma saw me sitting at the kitchen table at 4 a.m., just sitting. Not reading or on my phone, just a creepy silhouette with the stove light on. I was not awake. My mom also got home from work like 4 p.m., so sunny and bright, and said I was in the backyard and didn't answer when she called down to me. She figured I had headphones or something in and went inside and found me passed out on the couch and shook me awake, asking why I was messing with her. All around, creepy place, especially since something kept impersonating me, which isn't always a great omen, but at least I never saw myself.
Okay, mimic.
Yeah.
Another mimic.
Secret theme. That's gross though, man.
That should be a theme.
It should be, but like they're freaky.
Yeah, no. They're top 3. It goes woods, basement, mimics.
Okay, I'm
All
ready.
Right. This is my last one, y'all.
Last one for Tamaram.
It's from Reddit user remote ad 995. It's called The Old Man in Our Basement.
The old man that lived in my basement.
For as long as I can remember, I've never been able to escape the paranormal. Whether it be the television turning on it by itself at night as a child, or quote-unquote imaginary friends my older sister and I could both see for years.
Ew.
Yeah. I've grown to become almost desensitized to anything out of the ordinary. Out of all things that have come in and out of my current home, there's one that has been there for as long as I can remember, and quite the odd one at that. For simplicity's sake, I'll just refer to him as Old Man.
Old Man Jenkins.
He's often heard walking throughout the basement, mostly in the spare living room that connects to another spare room. He's not spoken a word to any of us, but he seems to really dislike my mother's best friend, as when she lived with us for a short while, he'd bang on the laundry room walls when she was alone in there, and she'd swear up and down that he typically told her to get out.
Ew. Sorry. Forgive me.
Nobody else had ever been told the same. Typically, the most we could get would be a whisper calling our names. Or who knows if that was ever from him in the first place. Personally, I think that the old man is all right. He's been docile with my family and never moved things or bugs any of us. I've only seen him briefly here and there, but the description of him matches what everyone else in the house has seen of him. Everyone except my mom's friend, LOL, can pretty much agree that he's harmless. When my room was in that spare room connected to the basement living room, I'd often come home to an empty house after school and crash for a couple hours while we were waiting for anyone to come home. Sometimes I'd be so tired from staying up too late and having to get up so early that I'd fall asleep with the lights on, and in those cases, I'd wake up 90% of the time with the lights having been turned off for me. Nobody in my family ever admitted to doing it, and my parents really wouldn't have been the type to turn my lights off for me to sleep. With both of my siblings being gone most of the time around then, it was also unlikely that they'd lie about not doing that. I can only assume the old man was the one who'd helped me out. I've always wondered if perhaps he's some sort of guardian, yet the way he acted towards my mom's friend contradicts that, since she's by no means a bad person or deserving of that. Though I can't say for certain if the old man is the one who did that. I wonder how many of you have had similar experiences with a being acting hostile to some and docile towards others.
I feel like he was being hostile towards everyone, and he was like, oh, yeah, he helped me out by turning the lights off.
This is saying that he never bugged anybody.
But, like, think about it. Like, think about if you were telling a story and you'd be like, yeah, I went into the basement to sleep, and when I woke up, all the lights were out. We would be like, ew, that's disgusting. And this person's like, yeah, he was a homie. He helped me out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're just, like, chill with it versus the woman was like, you know, it's not normal to have a ghost in your basement, right?
Or maybe she was, like, sensitive.
Yeah.
So, like, that's another thing. Sometimes I think that they act up more whenever they know you. I don't sometimes think. I really feel like they act up more when they know you can hear them.
Okay. I feel like I've read this before. You'll have to
I'll
let me
stop
know.
you.
Okay. This is called The Little Hands. I've never lived in a haunted house, but my mother did as a teen. Other houses had strange things going on, too, on her street, and a few homes away from her lived a family. One night, the daughter went to bed with a bad headache. The next day, she was dead. She'd passed from an aneurysm. After her funeral, the family went away to get their minds off the tragedy, and the father asked my uncle, my mom's brother, to check on their pets. My mom and dad, who were dating at the time, went with him. My mother had heard that there was a grand piano and she wanted to play it. My dad was studying to be a veterinarian. I don't know what that has to do with the story. After entering the house, my uncle and my father headed to the basement to see the animals, and my mother went to the piano on the second floor. She was playing it when something brushed her ankles. She thought a cat must have left the basement and walked past her. She kept playing, and then she felt it again. She looked under the piano and saw nothing. When she started again, she felt hands clasp her legs tightly. She dashed to the basement door and called for my uncle and father and waited for them. Back outside, my uncle could tell my mom was rattled and asked what's wrong. She told him what had happened, and he turned white. He told her the daughter who had died used to play a game with her father. When he played the piano, she'd crawl underneath and grab his ankles and push his feet up and down on the pedals.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
So, a ghost girl grabbed her ankles.
Thanks for joining. So, a ghost girl grabbed your ankles, Sixth Sense style.
Yeah. To, like, help you play the piano.
Oh my god, imagine feeling like her cold hands on your fucking ankles.
Especially you felt her crawl under there. You felt it and you looked down and nothing was there. What if there was?
Well, the first time you just dismissed it.
Yeah, the first time
you're like,
it's a cat.
Yeah.
Happened again, you look down. What if she was like
So then what if when I think that it's a cat, that means to me it brushed against you.
Oh.
You know how cats do that thing?
Ew, but it was probably her arm sliding in.
Or her body getting right.
Gotcha. Vomit. I'd die.
That gave me cramps.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Because that's another worst nightmare. Is that you put your legs down to do something and your ankles get grabbed?
Oh yeah. Generally walking up basement stairs. So it comes
with the
full
slits
circle.
in them too.
Yeah. Ugh, I'm thinking about the person that touched their sister and it was not them. That's so
nightmare.
Nasty.
That's something I wouldn't have even thought of. That could
be a possibility.
Right.
Who knows when you're going to wake someone up? Is that them? They come out of the bathroom, vomit.
Something like that kind of half happened to me. It was a mental trick because because it was a long time ago. I like had woken up and rolled over and felt Mariel still there, and then I fell back asleep, but it felt like 30 seconds, and I woke up and they were gone, and I was like, but they were there.
Well, if you've ever touched someone that wasn't actually there, or you've been spooked in a basement, write in at ghouulbeanspodcast@gmail.com and tell us, because I love these stories.
Please. And then if you also have coffee recommendations, we will take them. If you have something you want us to bitch about, I would happily bitch about whatever you want me to bitch about.
Absolutely. So please write in ghouulbeanspodcast@gmail.com. Like us on Instagram at ghouulbeanspodcast, and
TikTok.
Yeah, just listen. Just share with your friends.
You can write us
We're enemies
on Reddit too.
That's fair.
We're basically everywhere. You can get a hold of me directly.
I will give you my street address.
My social.
Until next time, thanks for joining us.
And spilling
the ghoul beans.
Okay, bye.